Don't worry about the language. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. What's going on, everybody? How you guys doing? Welcome back to another live stream. Just checking things out and make sure that we are live. All right, I think we're good. Alhamdulillah. Hope everyone's doing okay. Let's go ahead and make sure that my phone's on silent. I decided to do a live stream on Sunday before things kick off. You know, I got some things to do with the family and things like that. So let's just do this. So alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How you doing? HK salam. Welcome to the live stream. Pleasure to have you, brother. Hope you're doing well. Hope the audio is okay. Inshallah. I decided to just do this because we wanted to make sure that I spent some time with the followers. So let me just make sure this is going good. Okay, alhamdulillah. All right, let me just tweet this out. Make sure people are aware that we are live. Excuse me for one moment. All right, live stream. So yes, alhamdulillah. So I had a great yesterday. Just to fill you guys in, we had a wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu raccoon. Good to have you, brother. Yeah, but we had a barbecue yesterday. For those of you that don't know, it was I posted a picture on my Twitter. Maybe we'll take a look at that real quick and take a look at that. Yeah, let me go ahead and yeah. So this is me carving up that that wagyu steak. Man, this is one of the most delicious pieces of steak, not pieces of shake, pieces of steak that I've had in my life. It was cooked medium rare. The brothers like had marinated some other stuff on the side. There was some chicken and whatnot. But just to get a closer look, this is how this thing came off the grill, man. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. I mean, it was, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it was juicy. It was juicy, and it was great. You know what? Dr. Difficult, you're welcome. If you're around the Chicagoland area, come by. Whenever we have a barbecue, you'll be more than welcome to partake in it, inshallah. It's not me. I get invited to these things, and so, alhamdulillah, it was good. But yeah, we enjoyed. We had some chicken, all kinds of things that we can't even. Sheikh Amr was there, Sim was there. There were some other people too. Some local, some brothers are around. But anyways, how are you guys doing? I wanted to take this time to do a quick live stream. What is going on with you guys? Anything new? I did notice that COVID-19 put up a video trying to make a video towards Sheikh Uthman. I plan to do a reaction to that video later on, but not right now. When I have some more time, I'm gonna be doing it later, inshallah. But yeah, I don't know. There's just so much going on in the world right now. Let me just get my charger for this phone. It's about to die, so we don't want the phone to die in the live stream. Got that in there. But yeah, there's so many things. Even to the brothers and sisters in Canada, I've been hearing that there's a lot of stuff going on with like the vaccinations being delayed, and then like this rise in Islamophobia. Apparently, I don't know, the natives were mad because of all the stuff that was happening. You know, with the children, the graves of the children being found, and they didn't want to, you know, celebrate Canada Day, whatever it may be. Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ibn Mia Al-Buna, welcome. So yeah, I heard Canada is a little bit crazy right now. I'm not sure how that's working, but subhanallah, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if any of you guys are out in Canada, you can let me know how that's working. I definitely, I do empathize with some of those people, but we'll see what happens, inshallah. Hopefully, it all works out. But may Allah Subhanahu wa Taala keep all the Canadian Muslims safe from any harm, and any injustice that may approach them. But yeah. So yeah, there's just a couple of things, updates. Just want to make some more videos now. I'm gonna be doing. We had a great episode, by the way, in the past 2 weeks with Imam Mark Manley. I enjoyed that episode. We really broke things down. If you guys didn't get a chance to watch that live stream on the Mad Mamluks channel, please head over there and make sure you guys watch that, because I believe that is probably one of the more enlightening conversations that we've had past maybe 2 or 3 months. And well, that's good to know, Ibn Mia Al-Buna. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, I heard that these things were happening like in Alberta and like other places, maybe a little bit outside of the Toronto and GTA area. But whatever it is, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep them safe and away from any harm. Ameen. But yeah, make sure you head over to the Mad Mamluks channel, and make sure you do take a look at the video that we did with Imam Mark Manley. I mean, that is my dude. That's my guy. Always, he never disappoints. Whenever he speaks with conviction, and he makes valid points that are actually take home points. And we talked about things like critical race theory. We talked about things like the rise of the left. We talked about just the whole culture of the way that the online Muslims are being portrayed and things like that. Beard's on point. How I grew my beard. Wallahi, Jazakumullah khair, yeah, HK4718. I'll be honest, it's mainly natural, man. I mean, I just trim a little bit here and there when things get a little wild. Maybe trim on the side so they don't get too long here when I do my haircut. Other than that, alhamdulillah, I mean, it's all natural. I don't really oil or anything like that. I just, when I get out of the shower, maybe blow dry a little bit just to make sure it's straight and it's not all over the place. But that's about it, man. Alhamdulillah. Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, by choice Muslim. And alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Tofu. Good to have you brothers here. Alhamdulillah, you guys are watching. 15 of you guys, go ahead and smash that like button as well too, so we can get things started. Another brother had asked me as well too in the last live stream that what am I going to do about cryptocurrency and how am I going to recover my money? I'm not going to make this whole video about cryptocurrency, but what I will say is that for me personally, cryptocurrency has never been a short a game. It was a long-term game, and I'm looking at it for 2 to 3 years, 5 years from now. And I am pretty confident, bi'idhnillah, that it'll be something that'll be worth your investment. So the short answer is no, I'm not panicked, and nor have I decided to sell any of my holdings. If anything, I've decided to buy more. So that is just my personal take. But let me preface all of this by saying that I am not a financial advisor. I'm not qualified to give any kind of financial advice. I'm only sharing what I do. So do your research. Make sure you contact qualified individuals who can help you decide how to diversify your investment portfolio. But that's just for me. Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Edna King, salam from Bosnia. MashaAllah. MashaAllah. I have some good friends that are from Bosnia too as well. Very good. Very good people, mashallah. We have a very big Bosnian community in Chicago as well too. So, alhamdulillah, good brothers, good people. I've had some, what do they call that? Burek. I think it's called burek, which is like the little pastry with meat in it or something like this. I had a friend of mine that make me some of that. And sujuk, which is like, I think it's like a sausage almost. It's kind of like a smoked meat. That's what it is. Mashallah, very good food. I enjoy it. Yeah, assalamu alaikum to anybody I missed, by the way. But yeah, absolutely. Um, but anyways, I wanted to take a time just to kind of reach out, find out what's going on with the listeners, anything new, any topics that we want to cover. Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Shu'aib Muhammad from India. Pleasure to have you. I hope you brothers are staying safe in India. I know right now the whole COVID and the whole whole Modi situation. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect the Muslims in India. I have a special place in my heart for India because my mother's family and them, they come from Hyderabad. So I have definitely a special place for the Indian Muslims in the Indian subcontinent. What is your take on homeschooling versus public schooling here in the West? It seems that like if you protect your children at home, they'll eventually be exposed to ills outside. So that question is really in two folds. It's actually two different questions. Homeschooling versus public schooling. Now, I'm of the opinion that because of the current climate, homeschooling is going to be a better option. And I believe that because you're able to focus and give the attention to your children that they need, and you can kind of limit what they're being exposed to. But there's a challenge, and that challenge is most people are unable to spend time at home. Homeschooling is a full-time job. So a mother would have to stay home and dedicate time, which would mean the husband or the father would have to earn enough money in order for that to happen. And unfortunately, many people don't fall into that category. But if you are fortunate enough and blessed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enough so that you can afford that situation, or you're willing to make compromises and live a little bit of a lesser lifestyle in order to facilitate your wife being home and her educating your children, I would definitely advocate for that. I think it's a better option. Now, the second part of the question is, well, they're going to be affected by the, or exposed to all the ills in the outside society, and that is true, and that'll happen no matter what. Whether you're homeschooling or you're in public schools or Islamic schools, it's always going to happen. But the idea is that your job is not to prevent your child from committing every sin and any sin. Your job is to bring them up with tarbiyah, with proper upbringing, and put the love and of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger in their hearts, to bring them closer to Allah and His deen, and to make sure they understand that they hope for Allah's mercy and they fear His punishment. And then, you bring them up with proper Islamic values and you be an example to them. The best form of da'wah is in action, especially with children. When children see their parents or they see adults around them making salah, not just telling them to make salah, or reading Quran, not just telling them to read Quran, right? Praying extra nawafil, not just telling them to pray nawafil, memorizing Quran, not just telling them to memorize Quran. When they see these things, this has a positive effect and a reinforcement on their belief system. So your job is to be an active parent and to be active role models in their lives. And then beyond that, it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that will guide or misguide them. It is your job to provide that atmosphere where the home has an environment of Islam within it, and then the rest is up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Of course, you want to make sure that you, protect them from any vices, right? You want to keep the haram out of the house, keep things that are harmful to them away, even for the dunya perspective, give them a track to, put them on track to, have, meaningful careers and contributing members of society, and help them to get married. Things like this, which are going to contribute to their upbringing and to their wholesomeness. And so that is the job of a parent. Beyond that, wallahu alam, I mean, you cannot escape the vices and the harams in society. It's just the way it's going to be. Alhamdulillah, yes, mashallah. Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Joe Bass, good to see you, brother. I think it's becoming increasingly difficult to find a wife who's willing to stay at home and homeschool children. This is because of the influx of careers. Yes, this is another issue. There has been a shift in the way that the traditional household has evolved, and that unfortunately means you have dual income earners. And this is an attack. There is a large attack on the masculine role in society. And I've talked about this a lot. I've talked about this on Clubhouse. I've talked about it in many other places as well too. That there is a shaming of the natural man, the man who has the ghira, the man who wants to show aggression, positive aggression, the man who wants to compete, whether it be in terms of the religion or even financially in terms of the dunya. The characteristics which embody a man or having rajula, these are now under attack. And that means that the quality of men is going to be less and less, and therefore women will naturally have to pick up the slack, and that means that they are going to radiate masculine energy, and in turn it means men will be radiating feminine energy, and we know how that works, right? Men are attracted to feminine energy and not masculine energy, and women are attracted to masculine energy and not feminine energy. And when both genders are outputting the opposite, the likelihood of a marriage and a successful marriage happening is very slim, and a high probability of it ending up in divorce. And unfortunately, that is the problem that we're in. The idea that another problem is the idea of looking down on a housewife as if she is just simply a housewife, and it's an unfortunate thing, and as if a career is more meaningful. This is problematic, and I'll give you a small example. I don't want to make this whole stream about gender wars and marriage, but a small example. Imagine when a woman goes out to work her career, she's willing to pay a babysitter and a nanny ridiculous amounts of money in order to raise children. Even schools, private schools, have been, the people pay a lot of money for that. Why is it okay for a family to pay a stranger massive amount of money, an immense, a handsome salary to look after their children, raise them, but when a mother wants to do that for her children, or a father wants the mother to do that, it's somehow reduced to a unfortunate thing and a underachievement in society. It's a very interesting parallel how we look at this. But then again, this is a problem with the rise of postmodernism and these different worldviews that are unfortunately impacting the way that our youth and younger people are viewing society and their place in society. And so unfortunately, this is going to make things very difficult. I agree with you that it is going to be very difficult to find spouses. As a matter of fact, a good friend of mine, Baba Ali, we were talking about this on Clubhouse, and the reality is that there are men who are qualified, who have good jobs, who are practicing their religion, who are decent members of society, are refusing to get married because they understand that the quality of women that they are used to are no longer there. And it seems to be too much of a risk for them to possibly get married to a woman who has completely different ideas, or eventually may morph into a person with different ideas, and then it ending up in a divorce, which then in turn means that they may have to lose a lot of money and be set back financially and even in life. And this is why a lot of brothers are struggling with the idea of getting married, because unfortunately, the system is biased, the attitudes have changed, and the purpose of marriage is also changing. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy on the people that are looking to get married, and to make it easy for them. Let me just go ahead and take a look at some of these things here. Let me look at some of these comments. Yes. Societal influences in the West on Muslim children is huge. They lose the home language when attending school for several hours a day, start to drift away from their faith because of peer pressure. Good point. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Princess Rashida. Always a pleasure to have you. Welcome. Tanvir Ahsan says, okay, welcome salam. Yes, just get married Islamically. Absolutely. I mean, the Islamic marriage is the only way it can work, but the problem is that people, even within Islamic marriages, can, people have different views on what marriage looks like. On because marriage is largely dynamic, and it is based on urf and customs and certain principles. But there is a principle in Islam which a lot of modernist people don't like, and women don't like, and it is the fact that that Allah has caused one, of the men and women, men to excel over the other, and has made men qawam or qawamun, like meaning they are maintainers of women, and for a reason. We have a responsibility. And the Quran also says that there are obedient wives who are subservient to their husbands, and obviously all of this has context. We just don't want to use loaded language and then not have to say that there is meaning behind this. That there's a certain wisdom in the practice of how it's done. It doesn't mean that one should transgress over the other, but rather these are boundaries which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put in place with the nature of human beings in mind, because He created us. So that was the thing. But maybe one day we'll do an episode. Maybe I'll bring Baba Ali onto the show, and maybe we'll do a whole segment on your marriage questions and troubles and some of the challenges. Maybe we'll do that later. Yes, Jazakumullah khair, Sister Princess Rashida. Yes, make sure you guys hit the like button, bring people in. But yes, Jazakumullah khairan. The negative connotation of those words were added on recently. Yeah, absolutely. And this is again, we'd have to discuss that further and to find out why, but this is a modern twist on the understanding of languages, and the translation to English, and the meaning behind them in English, and the societal implications of all of it. A lot of this is all tied together, because it's being influenced by a segment of the populations which is extremely left leaning and very progressive in their values. But yes, Shuaib says outside influences is practically unavoidable because of the internet. Best method is to let your child explode, but be prepared to equip him for the outside influences by raising him up to an Islamic principle. Absolutely. The thing is that we have to remind you that keeping your kid at home or at or in private school or public school is not, that may have been a solution years ago. But nowadays, it's not the school system that's raising your children anymore. It's social media, it's TikTok, it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. So no matter where they are, they're going to be influenced by these different avenues 24/7. So you're absolutely correct. Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Maliki Click, welcome my brother. Hayakallah warhab, welcome to the live stream. Always a pleasure to have you. Princess Rashida says, if you are looking to get married, speak to others that are married, and also to those that got divorced, to learn what you should be looking at when you are looking for a partner, and what are some of the downfalls. Absolutely. And just to add on to that as well, too, Princess Rashida, I would say that also seek premarital counseling. This is an immense benefit to people who may not be asking the right questions before they get married, but sometimes a counselor or somebody trained in that field will be able to help you ask the right questions and then get to the meat of the matter, which would be, what are some of the major challenges or things that you're looking to achieve in a marriage, the goals. Because trust me, the lovey-dovey phase will run out, and beyond that, you have to have some kind of solid foundation. Otherwise, the marriage just gets shaky. So premarital counseling is a huge benefit if you are considering getting married anytime soon or in the future. Alima says, in South Africa, Muslims are pretty much free to practice their religion, including polygyny. But even then, some Muslim parents encouraging dating first only, or they like to use courting. Yes, absolutely. And this is something that has been a Western influence upon us, Alima, unfortunately. But yes, we should, try to, do it as halal as possible. Like the courting part is not necessarily a problem, provided that you're getting to know them the halal way, meaning that the mahram is present, it's with the family. I mean, you're speaking to somebody, But if it's done in the context of like Western dating, where you're going out alone watching a movie and you're spending years, you're moving in together, and things like this. This is just a whole different story. Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sajid Lipham, my good brother. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome, man. Jazakumullah khair. You didn't have to donate, brother. I just, please, give it for other things. But Jazakumullah khair. I appreciate it, brother. Very, very, very much appreciated. By the way, I did a video the other day on a video that was featuring Sajid because apparently, APUS had made a video trying to discredit Sajid without actually having to actually understand the argument. But nonetheless, I did a video on that earlier. So you guys want to go check it out as well too. Make sure you do that. But a pleasure to have you, brother. I meant often they use courting when it's actually dating. Yes, Alima. Unfortunately, and this is the problem that we have as a Muslim ummah today. We're being influenced by the standards of the non-Muslim world as if they contain better solutions for us than what we already find within Islam. And that's the problem, because if you profess La ilaha illallah Muhammadan Rasulullah, if you profess that Allah is your Lord and that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is your prophet and that he is the best guide and example for you, as we hear time and time again in each and every khutbah, we hear that the speech of Allah is the best guidance, and in it is the best guidance, and the Prophet is the best example. We hear these things, but yet why are we looking to the outside world? And this comes from an inferiority complex, that where we feel like somehow the Western world has an advantage, or they're more quote unquote civilized than us. And unfortunately, that it's not the case. In this particular example, why are we taking their examples of marriages when we can see their marriage rates today, right? We can see the high number of divorces. We can see the number of children out of wedlock. We can see the high rate of domestic abuse. We can see, many other vices that are there. So what makes them the standard? As a Muslim, we believe that our standard comes from Allah and His Messenger, right? This is what makes us unique. And I want to highlight an interesting point here as well too, is that being unique and being different is a ni'mah. It's a blessing to us. And I'll explain that to you now, and I'll explain what I mean when I say that. Because if we were not unique and different, what would be the difference between me or us being a Jew or a Christian or a Hindu or a universalist? What is the difference? There's no difference to us, right? What makes us different is that we have a way of a prescribed way from our Creator, directly from our Creator, how to worship Him, how to live our daily lives, how to interact with one another. All of these things that make us unique, that influence and touch and influence every aspect of our daily lives. And so therefore, when we're in the streets and a person happens to be driving by and he sees a Muslim on the side of the road praying, stopping his car in the middle of the road and praying on the side, in the middle of traffic, or a sister on a hot day wearing hijab, observing her full covering with her in her abaya, makes them think, what is it about these people that makes them, what do they believe that makes them do things like this? Why would they be so counterculture? What would make a man stop on the side of the highway and do that? What would make a woman who cover, when society tells us today to ignore prayer and to not cover? And that spark of curiosity is what brings people to Islam. And it also commands respect, because people understand then that you are people of principle, that you not only profess a statement, but you believe in it as well to the point where you're willing to take action to exemplify that. And that is something that is unique to Islam in today's age, in day and age, right? I mean, with the exception of a few other religions, but they are minorities. But most of the people today are largely non-practicing of whatever denominations of whatever religion they may be. But Islam makes it very easy for us to display our Islam everywhere, from our eating to our dressing to our greetings to our interactions to our work to our spending habits to our family life. Each and every aspect that you look at, from the moment you wake to the moment you sleep, from the moment you're born to the moment you die, Islam has an answer for each and every circumstance in that. And this is what makes us unique. So take pride in this uniqueness. Display, wear this uniqueness on your arm. Be proud to have a beard. Be proud to wear a hijab. Be proud to not shake hands with the opposite gender. Be proud to not be involved in haram businesses. Be proud to do these things, because these are actions of people that fear God. These are actions of people that want to obey Allah's messenger, right? You should never feel shame in that. Wallahi, this is an honor. And these things will be a hujjah for you, inshallah, on the Day of Judgment, where everybody will be looking to find deeds that they're doing, the good deeds they've done, or maybe an opportunity, as the Quran mentions, to come back and to pray more and to do more good deeds and to give more sadaqah. But they will be unable to do so. But on that day, your deeds will be there as an evidence for you, rather than an evidence against you, bi'idhnillah. And so that is the important thing to remember. That is why I say being unique is a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you should continue to be unique. Have no shame in that. This is what brings people like people of great personalities to Islam, and what attracts them to it. Let's get back to it. A post reputation was excellent, and so was your commentary. Jazakumullah khair. Big credit goes to Brother Sajid, who actually created the original video, and I was just only building on the point that he made. Unfortunately, A-Puss was too simple-minded, so I had to come down and be on his level and try to drive the point home. But Jazakumullah khair to Brother Sajid, who did the video. Yes, you're on time, Fake Nike. Alima says A-Puss got his script from David Wood. A-Puss is repeating standard missionary misinformation. Absolutely, that's correct. Tofu says, I love my hijab even in the heat because I want to be recognized as a Muslim, even in a society where we are often disrespected for being Muslim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. And this will be a testimony for you on the Day of Judgment, bi'idhnillah. And it should be something that you should be proud of. We definitely admire and respect that of our sisters, because we know it's, as a man, at least I can say, I know how unbelievably challenging it is, because obviously, these are more visible signs of being a Muslim. I'm sure there are challenges, but trust me when I say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you and will always make a way for you. This is always a positive sign, alhamdulillah. Exactly, Tofu. We are only honored because we are Muslims. Exactly, the strangers, ghuraba, absolutely. Shu'aib says A-Puss made fun of Ali Dawah's appearance on his YouTube community post. This is ironic. He's the ugliest. I don't want to get into the physical features of human beings, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at the end of the day creates human beings. But I do believe that certain darknesses and uglinesses can come upon the face of an individual, meaning in when people look at him in firasa, because of the evilness they have inside their heart. When people look at, there's a certain firasa, like an intuition when you look at somebody, you feel maybe they're a bad person, and that is definitely there for me when I see A-Puss. He's a shaitan to me, and I can definitely feel that even by just looking at him. But I don't want to get into the habit of making comments on his physical appearance, because this is something from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we have no control over that. So we can criticize him and make fun of him about things he can control, like his ignorance and lack of ability to understand Islam and even Christianity for that matter. Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Apis' whole business model is triggering Muslims and getting attention. I say cut him off to the attention and stop advertising him thoughts. Yes, I mean, this is part of the way, but the unfortunate thing is sometimes when he calls on people, I do think that there's a time and place to respond, but I do think that also that we shouldn't give him too much attention. I was going to do another video today that was featuring somebody else, but I decided not to because I don't want to give that person too much attention. I feel like a lot of times their video output becomes it becomes voluminous when they are under pressure, because you have to understand that many of these people that are making these videos, their full-time job is to be Islamophobes. Many of the du'at that are out there, whether it be Sheikh Uthman, whether it be Muhammad Hijab, whether it be Sajid, whether it be Fareed, this is not our full-time job. We have things that we do in the real world. We don't make money off of YouTube. We don't make money by refuting Christianity. This is not something that we do. So we don't have the time to do that. So they know that. They understand that we are limited on the time that they have in compared to them. And also, it takes, if someone can make a claim in 2 minutes on a video, and it could take somebody 30 minutes to explain it. And they also know that. So it's a tactic of swarming and trying to overwhelm the apologist community, so that therefore it seems that there's so many different things to address and you don't know where to start. But in reality, if we just go back for an example, when Sheikh Uthman handled all three of those clowns at Balboa Park, you see that all of a sudden they all started making videos after they left the park and were no longer in the presence of Sheikh Uthman. And I find that to be quite interesting. I have some ideas as to why that is, and I'm sure you guys can figure it out if you use your imagination. For me, it's just, I mean, a big part of that is cowardice. They would rather stay in the comfort of their own homes, make videos propagating lies and misinformation, because it appeals to the crowd that subscribes to them, the Islamophobic crowd that wants to hate Islam, and they don't have to hear a response live, and no one can witness their humiliation. And this is why they do it. So absolutely. Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Floating man, good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well. Always a pleasure to have you in my live stream. A good brother, mashallah. Fake Nate says, I almost feel like Ridwan is being unfair when it comes to critiquing Christianity. Of course, well, he won't critique Christianity because a lot of the Islamic, Islam haters are from that evangelical Christian camp. And so how dare he would make a video refuting Christianity or portraying Christianity for exactly what it is when he could lose all of his funding? How would that happen? Isn't AP irrelevant at this point? I mean, yeah, he is. I think for a large point, he is kind of irrelevant now. But there are certain things that he does, and I think some people feel the need to respond. I don't think everything deserves a response, but sometimes certain things do need a response so that we can, maybe perhaps certain content creators identify an area where they might be able to use it for da'wah, or to strengthen another point, and so they will use it and create a reputation. Wallahu a'lam. But I definitely agree. I don't think that Muslims in particular should be spending too much time on any one individual, because a lot of these arguments are pretty much recycled arguments, right? They've been made before in the past, and what happens is they've been refuted, or then they started making YouTube videos. They got refuted. The channel went away or closed down. A new person came up with better camera, better lighting, and recycled the arguments. They got refuted. Then a person with even better camera, even better lighting, even better background, and more funding, they make a channel, they make the same arguments, and they get refuted, and so forth and so on. The whole thing is a cycle, right? So a lot of these arguments are repetitive and redundant, and the scholars and the tulab al-ilm, mashallah, alhamdulillah, the students of knowledge have addressed almost all of these issues. I don't think I've heard a single argument being made today or in the last maybe 5 years that I've maybe even longer, 10 years that I haven't heard before. There's literally nothing new that they can present. So yes, I do agree that this is the crumbling of their theology, because it's unfortunate that instead of wanting to talk about that, they would rather focus on Islam. But like I said, I haven't really found an argument that's very compelling from them, or an argument that would make me say, I have to research this matter. I'm unaware of it, right? I don't see if I've seen that. Once they notice less Patreon, they will, yeah, absolutely. They know that. They know they need to pump out content because it's a content-based funding, right? So the more you create, the more likely you are to get more donations. And so, hey, if it works for them, that's their business. But I think we should recognize for what it is, right? And that is that it is a business for them. Whereas we are in the business of spreading the truth. It doesn't matter how much we get compensated, whether we get any money or we don't. We look for the reward of our Creator, alhamdulillah, and that's all that really matters. And we know Allah will reward the people who do good works. Walillah alhamd. So we're not too worried about that. If changing your mind on religion means you lose all your livelihood, then you won't change. Absolutely. I mean, there are some tough challenges. We see how many, specifically, I'm speaking about the trio, David and Hosamo and the crook. They all walked over to Sheikh Uthman of the One Message Foundation. Make sure you go check it out, by the way. If you have not subscribed to the One Message Foundation, which is Masjid Ribat, under Sheikh Uthman ibn Farouk. If you have not, make sure you go subscribe to them and support their da'wah, support their effort. He is live, I think, every weekend at Balboa Park, and he's willing to engage and debate any Christian or any non-Muslim, for that matter, that's willing to come over there and have a discussion about Islam. So make sure you guys go over there and you subscribe and follow that channel as well too. He also, I believe, goes on Twitter by the name of Abu Kutub, which is ABUKUTUB. But anyways, very, very important work that's being done. But yes, Apis is such a weasel. He's making reaction videos trying to psychoanalyze reverts such as in envious words. So I agree. Have you noticed that the neo-Christian philosophers attack Islam in the most pedantic and irrelevant points? Muslims, on the other hand, attack their fundamentals. A lot of Muslims are leaving. It is usually the easier option. That is the difference, despite if they stay. Yeah. And the Jazakumullah khair to someone who put that. Oh, Jazakallah khair, yeah, Princess Rashida, for putting the link for the YouTube channel of Sheikh Uthman. The reality here, though, is that, and this is an interesting point that Qabandi brings up, by the way. Welcome, Habibi, by the way. Welcome. Good to see you. Long time no see. Ahlan wa sahla wa marhaba feek. Welcome to the live stream. But the thing is, a lot of times Muslims, when we're involved in da'wah, we're involved in, issuing a rad or rudud against people or whatever it may be, we're concerned about the person and the numbers and making that person a Muslim or preventing that person from leaving Islam. This is not our job. The job is that is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah will decide. Our job is only to convey the truth and to convey the message. Beyond that, it's not your responsibility. We are not in the business of da'wah for the objective or achievement of numbers. It's rather for the objective of pleasing our Creator, right? That this is a commandment given to us that we must convey and proclaim our Islam and let the people hear about it. And then it is entirely up to them whether they want to accept or to deny or reject the message. So don't worry about the numbers game, right? I mean, we can say, because I can guarantee you, if you are a true believer, the fact that Islam has 1.8 billion Muslims in the world doesn't really mean anything, right? Because you would still be Muslim if you are a true Muslim, whether it was just you and 100 people, right? You would still be a devout Muslim. So let's not get into the issue of a numbers game, right? Because numbers fluctuate, and traditionally speaking, the Muslims have always been a minority in every battle. Whether you look at Badr, Uhud, Khandaq, you look at many different battles. You look at, or even when we fought in Nahawan, the Qadisiyah, right? Just in general, even when you fight the Mamalik, I'm sorry, the Mughal, the Mongols, when you fought them, the Muslims were a small number, right? I mean, compared to the army relevant, I mean, to them, I mean, at that time, right, they were smaller. So what I'm saying is that the numbers, necessarily quantity, doesn't really matter, but it is quality, right? So it's quality over quantity. That's what we look for. Okay, let me see. Muzzy Buzz more. Would you please invite Sis Milahan, a brave sis from Haram lifestyle to Halal Islam? And yeah, I mean, if she just have her reach out to me, or facilitate something, inshallah, Fatuma, and we'll make sure that happens. Thank you, Sahih Luke. Yeah, absolutely. Good to see you, by the way. Long time no see, my Christian friend. I hope you're doing well. So yeah, these are things that we have to be conscious of, right? That it's not, it's quantity over, quality over quantity. And Allah is concerned with the condition of your heart and your intention, more so than He's concerned with the number of people that you have quote unquote converted to Islam. And so just keep that in mind. And that's just simply what I wanted to put out there. But anyways, what else is going on out there? Someone had asked me about UFOs and jinns. Allahu Adam. So there are different camps about this early on. I'm of the opinion that they could be jinns that are, possibly there, or they could be just technology that people have been, creating and messing around with, that they have not been able to declare yet to the public and the media. But, there's a lot of technology the governments work on that we don't know about. And it may be surprising to the regular people, but the common layman, but the governments of the world are, especially the military branches, are very sophisticated, and they are very advanced in their technology. For example, the Blackbird that we use, it's commonly around today, has been around since the 1960s, and people don't even realize this, right? 1950s, I think, even earlier. This is something which was a well-kept secret of the U.S. government. And so we're talking about like a 40-year head start, right? So is it possible? It could be jinns, it could be technology, and some people believe it could be other beings. Wallahu alam. Now, I don't think that, it's a possibility. Islam is not really, if you're looking for an Islamic opinion on the matter, Allahu alam, there's no really, there's nothing that would, definitively affirm or deny something in this regards. But is it possible? Yeah, sure, absolutely. Absolutely, Sahih Luke. That's exactly what we're speaking of. Let me see here. Shuaib says, I think those three identify Uthman's effective da'wah. Yes, we saw that early on, absolutely. As a Muslim, I'm not sure why we need to defend the narrative of Jesus needing to be a Muslim according to the Gospels. We know for a fact. Well, I don't think that, look, for me personally, I tend to refrain from going into the Bibles and the Gospels for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's not my book. I don't believe that, I don't know what of it is authentic and what is not. And I don't necessarily, it doesn't really mean much to me. So if it doesn't mean much to me, how can it be used really as an evidence? It's just a personal thing for me. I'm not convinced by, it wouldn't work on me, because I'm not a believer in the Bible. I'm not convinced by the Bible. So why would I use it as evidence for somebody else, right? Because who knows? They may also doubt the authenticity. They may believe that the concepts are generally accepted and preserved, but the actual wording is not. And there are a lot of different ideas and views and propositions about this. But that's why I don't necessarily favor. I try to avoid using the Bible itself when speaking to Christians or just people that are I'm having to refute. On the other hand, there are times where sometimes you need to highlight, right? You need to bring some things out, and I understand that. But the other thing is, for me personally as well too, and this is just a personal level thing. I don't like when Christians would come into the Quran and begin to create their own exegesis on the spot, right? I don't believe they're qualified to do that. And I think it upsets us and even me as a Muslim. And likewise, I try to think of a way to put myself in other people's shoes. And I think Christians would also probably might get offended or at least upset if a non-Christian begins to try to interpretate their scriptures, right? We're talking about things that are like, context and parallel verses and exegesis and scholarly understandings, right? We have all of this within Islam as well too, right? Where we pride ourselves on that. We actually, we're not saying it's the same thing within Christianity. Of course, we believe our standard of preservation and ilm al-rijal and ilm al-hadith and all these different sciences are much different than they are in Christianity, and I believe superior. But nonetheless, they have their own criteria and their own methodology and how they understand biblical evidences. And I don't know of those. I'm not trained in those. And that's why I personally feel, for me, that I don't like to, I don't like to use the inter-Christian references to have to prove an Islamic point. Does that make sense? That's how I feel personally. But everybody else is free to do as they choose. Of course, as a Muslim, our default position is whatever of the Bible confirms is found within the Quran, that it is confirmed by the Quran, then we accept it, right? And if it's not, then there are two options. Either it's just it doesn't necessarily mean it's false, but we don't accept it because it's not an evidence for us, because it's not in the Quran, or it's completely false. If we find something in the Quran that is contradictory to it, then we take it as false. If the Quran is silent on the matter, then we're silent too. It's not necessarily against or for, right? We don't know. But yes, absolutely. But anyways, guys, what other things you guys have? We've been live for a little while now. We've been live for about an hour. I'm kind of getting ready to wind this thing down. Please do let me know. I will take one more comment. Hatun tried to use a source by Ibn Mujahid, which was swiftly. Oh my god, Ijaz. Is that Ijaz? I think I could be. I think that's my good friend Ijaz. I think some people are saying it is Ijaz. So let me just, mashallah. Well, it's good to. Maybe we'll bring them on. We'll do another episode later on if that's you, my friend, inshallah. Maybe we'll discuss some of these things. We'll dedicate. I kind of just did a short, impulsive live stream. Okay, so that is not Ijaz. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, because I have Ijaz on my phone, so I don't know if that's yeah. He can definitely message me, inshallah. I don't know. We'll see. I can't. It's by the way, I apologize. It's hard for me to keep up with everybody's screen names and things like this. I'm used to seeing display pictures and people live, and I'm an old guy. Show me some, cut me some slack, right? I'm not as crafty as you young generation people, right? I'm a little bit older there, so cut me some slack, inshallah. But anyways, yeah, by the way, we can do a video later on. Maybe we can host a formal type of debate, a back and forth, an argument. But I would request one thing. If we do that, I do like to be very specific, and I think it's important. I think it's an important thing for other people who engage in dialogue too, rather than saying Christianity and Islam, or the Bible and the Quran, which is fine. You can do these things. But I've often noticed that being nuanced helps. So maybe specific subjects, like maybe, for example, preservation of the Bible versus preservation of the Quran, right? Like these are where we stick to only these topics, and therefore you're able to really do a deep dive into it, and people can actually extract benefit rather than just jumping all around from point to point to point to point, right? It kind of makes things more focused. So I appreciate conversations that are like that. But anyways, it seems to me Type in Obi versus Bob the Builder. I will definitely check it out, inshallah. Barakallah fikum. We'll do that. But yeah, barakallah fikum to everyone who joined in. I appreciate you guys taking the time out. For those of you that are in America, hope you had a good 4th of July. You guys enjoyed the barbecue yesterday. I have a barbecue to head to tonight, so we're gonna do take advantage of the day off tomorrow. I had some, as I was mentioning earlier today. For those of you that came late. I had a Wagyu steak yesterday, and this was like the steak that we were chopping up yesterday. Alhamdulillah, one of the best steaks that I had in my life. So yeah, I mean, it was amazing. And then this was here's me cutting up a steak yesterday. So alhamdulillah, it was good, man. It was a very good it was a very good meal for me, alhamdulillah. But yeah, anyways, I thank you everybody for joining in. I'm gonna try to do more regular content now. I figured out how to get this camera thing set up where it's automatic. I don't have to keep doing this manual zoom thing. If anybody owns a Canon camera and you're struggling with the issue with autofocus, because it's a big problem for people with Canon EOS models, the non-mirrorless, hit me up on Twitter or anywhere. I'll tell you what to do. There's a new Canon utility, a webcam utility that Canon had released, and it works phenomenally. I mean, you don't need a capture card, you don't need, or I'm sorry, like one of those Elgato cam links or anything like that. It goes directly from USB to 3.0, from USB to USB 3.0. So it works out phenomenally. As you can tell, the video quality is great, extremely good quality. So yeah, reach out to me and I will definitely help you with that. But I plan to do more live streams, and I plan to do all this good stuff with more now that I'm back in Chicago, settled in, have more space to do what I want to do. Inshallah, we'll do that. But if you guys, before you guys go, if you guys can just make sure you guys like the video so that other people can see it in the algorithm. Unfortunately, YouTube makes me have to do this. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't bug you guys. I love you guys. I don't like to bother you. But smash that like button so that people can see the content that was created, and it'll be a benefit to people and make me feel good, right? But anyways, always a pleasure to be joined by all of you. I hope you have a good rest of your weekend, bi-idhnillah, inshallah ta'ala. And we will catch you on the next live stream or video. I think this Tuesday or Wednesday we'll be back in the studio on the Mad Mamluks channel for the roundtable that we do, inshallah. So make sure you guys tune into that, and we'll definitely be doing that very soon as well too. So until next time, let's talk about it. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Muzzy buzz.